Take a look at the Malay Archipelago, the dense cluster of islands stretching between Southeast Asia and Australia. The physical gaps between landmasses here are tiny. The water separating Bali from its eastern neighbor Lombok is a shockingly short distance. From a satellite, this entire region looks like one continuous, easily traversable ecosystem of tropical jungle. But that geography is an illusion, masking one of the most abrupt and unyielding biological borders on Earth. Stepping across that tiny channel of water plunges you into a completely alien world. On the western side of the divide, the dense forests are dominated by classic Asian apex predators, like tigers patrolling the underbrush. You find rhinos, elephants, and familiar birds like woodpeckers hammering away at the trees. But cross over to the east, and those Asian mammals vanish. The landscape is suddenly overrun by marsupials like kangaroos. You have dingoes and koalas living just a few miles away from elephants, with zero overlap. Scientists call this strict biological boundary the Wallace Line. The divide is so absolute that even creatures fully capable of swimming or flying almost never cross it. Why do mobile birds and fish obey an invisible border in the middle of the ocean? To understand the barrier, we must drop below the visible islands and look at the ocean floor. This topographical map shows the region's underwater elevation. The Wallace Line traces where a shallow continental shelf abruptly drops into a massive oceanic trench. While surrounding seas are shallow, this specific trench plunges deep, churning with aggressive, dangerous currents. Millions of years ago, tectonic plates in the Earth's crust slowly ground against each other and pulled apart, ripping this deep trench into existence. That violently formed fracture permanently severed two ancient landmasses. Wind the clock forward to the Ice Age, and that deep-sea fracture became the ultimate trap. As global sea levels dropped, shallow shelves dried up, forming vast land bridges connecting the islands. But the Wallace Line trench remained entirely flooded. Land animals were cut off. No rhino or kangaroo could swim across this harsh water. Trapped on opposite sides of the water with absolutely no intermixing, the biology on the east and the west took wildly independent evolutionary paths. The glaring contrast between tigers and kangaroos exists today because their ancestors were forced into millions of years of strict geographical quarantine. That explains the walking mammals, but it brings us back to the birds and the fish. A deep ocean trench is an impenetrable wall for a rhino, but it means absolutely nothing to a bird in flight. Millions of years of isolation transformed these creatures into extreme specialists, finely tuned to survive only in their specific, local ecosystems. Imagine an Asian woodpecker deciding to fly across the narrow strait into the Australian zone. The flight itself is brief, but the moment it lands, it is surrounded by alien flora. It has no instinct for evading marsupial predators, and it lacks the digestive adaptations for the local insects. Traversing the physical distance is easy. Surviving the ecosystem on the other side is biologically impossible. Given enough time, a physical scar on the ocean floor dictates biological destiny, creating a permanent, uncrossable wall in the sky.